السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Inshallah, we are going to continue studying the story of Solomon in the Quran. And we made a long introduction to this, to the section, how to read the stories of the Prophet in the Quran, etc., particularly the position of the story of Sulaiman in the Quran. Now we came here, the verse 18 from the chapter 27. So when they came to the valley of the ants, an ant said, "O ants, enter your dwellings, lest Solomon and his hosts crush you while they are unaware." Now, I think this is a lot here to think, but to think, but I will just give a short break. I forgot something, then come back in a few seconds, inshallah. I'm sorry about this break. Now, it is important to see that when they came, it means, as it is well known, the Prophet Sulaiman and his army came to the valley of the ants. It is very interesting. There is no such valley, which is called Valley of the Ants, Wad al-Naml. There is no such geographical place in reality occurs on the earth. And an ant said, and one ant said, "O ants, enter your dwellings, lest Solomon and his hosts crush you." while they are unaware. This is important, while they are unaware. Now, what does it symbolize here? What does it tell us here? I found it quite difficult because almost all of the, almost, maybe some exceptions, but I haven't come across them. The army came and an ant declared that or announced that the other ants should enter their dwellings so that the Solomon and his army or his hosts should not crush them while they are unaware. Now, there is something strange going on. I mean, we have to concentrate on the topic together and try to understand. Now, army came and they were walking, but this army is a strange army. There are jinns, Satan, and Satan as well in the army. It is very interesting. And birds, all kinds of animals in this army. Of course, we discussed this. I'm sure you remember this event, this discussion, that the Solomon is presented to us in the form of a commander-in-chief, at least, or a king, as some people say, okay, and he had a huge army. That's what we also mentioned this, but he was presented to us as a prophet, the messenger of God. What does it signify as a messenger of God? The messenger's hosts, army, are his evidence, his source of power as a messenger, in order to confirm, in order to certify the truthfulness of his message. He must have all these evidences in his hand to present to the people so they will be convinced about the truthfulness of his message. So if we look at it from this perspective, as a prophet presenting to us in the form of an army. Of course, in the Quran, there are a lot of prophets presented as a king, as a slave, as an orphan, as an successful prophet, as an unsuccessful prophet, as a father figure who has no power over their children, as a child figure has no power over his or his parents, wife and husband relationship. We discussed all this. We referred all this, that these are different positions. Now, of course, we said you don't have to be a king, but you can be a leader of anything in the family, for example, one of the parents, or in a company, the establisher of the owner of the company, or CEO of the company, whatever the position, the ruler of a country, possible, everything. This is an example. So these exemplary positions must bear in mind that they have a great responsibility beyond themselves. So if the smallest group of people is the family. So if a person says, I am the leader, responsible person for this family, so it is not on my responsibility, is not limited to my responsibility, but at the same time to the responsibility of others, my spouse, my children, maybe close relatives through family relationship. I have to take care of it. So I have to bring a lot of evidence to convince them. Each of them may be interested in one of them or two, so may attract each of my evidence as the leader may attract some of them, but not some of them. So some of others. So we have to bear in mind that the position, if the responsibility enlarges its scope, then the evidence must be varied a lot. For example, in the case of the Quran, it is claimed that it is sent to whole humanity. So we see that the Quran is full of evidence of every kind of creatures, every kind of way of reasoning. It's incredible. I cannot mention them here. I cannot list them here. You have to read it. Almost every evidence is specialized in one special case, or maybe within the interest of one certain people. And also the language the Quran uses in such a way that this language infers many layers of meanings. So some people will have this meaning, some people will have another meaning from the same text because of the grammatical, linguistic rhetorics of the Quran. We have to bear all this in mind and then come to the specific case, the ants. We know that it is also very famous, and you can see a lot of videos about the honeybees. They communicate with each other. But at the same time, if we look at the ants, they have also certain communication between them. For example, if there is a crumbles of some food in a place, especially in our kitchen, if there is an ant and finds out, what happens? In a few minutes, maybe, I don't know, 5, 10, I haven't calculated it, lots of an army of ants gathered there. What? It's so strange, isn't it? They communicate with each other. They go and call the others as well, the same speech. They communicate within themselves. So we understand from there that ants are created with the ability to communicate with each other. And this ability is the event that is the truthfulness of the message that every single event, every single being in the world is under the control of its creator, God. That's what Prophet Solomon is propagating or promoting to the people, saying that, look, this is what my creator has sent to me, this message. He is the creator of everything and has control of everything. He is the one who gives the abilities to each animal. Every one of them is different, but at the same time, they have a common point. For example, animals communicate between them. That is the common ground. But each of the animal species have their own specific means of communication. What does it mean? The one who creates them appropriately provides them the quality to maintain their life, to maintain their personal and social life at the same time. That is what the story of ant here represents. That is one point attracted my attention in this verse. So that the animals speak, but Solomon understands their language. Okay. We said any story mentioned in the Quran about the prophets, prophetic stories in the Quran must be related to us. So Suleiman understands the animal of the language of the animals. Okay. In fact, let's consider together. Understanding the language of animals, what does it have to do with the prophetic message? Any answer? Understanding the language of the animals. For example, somebody may study on, usually in the labs, they study different mice. I don't know which kind they are, the names, I don't know. They may be expert on their life and they understand how do they communicate with each other. They may understand it. Okay. For example, in the videos, we see that honeybees communicate with, they say, dancing, bee dancing. Now, somebody may become familiar with that. And if a bee behaves in this way, it means this, his members of speech is, they understand this. You can understand that. What happened? Okay, good to know that some secrets in the creation that God created with endless layers of secrets, discovered, that is good. But if a person doesn't refer it to the power, knowledge, wisdom, message of God, what is it good for? You learn the language and you die. For example, if a person learns Russian language, for example, I don't know. So if I study and learn Russian language, I know Russian language, and when I die, it disappears. It becomes meaningless for me, purposeless. What am I going to do with my language, knowledge of language, of Russian language, while I am in grave? Nothing. This cannot really be appropriate to the mission of the messengers. So what I have to do now, what does it mean then? Why Quran mentions this? Oh, the Quran mentions about the life of a particular prophet in order to teach me something. I have to say, Solomon understood the language of the animals. What is it to do with me? But from the prophetic perspective, what was everybody knows that the mission of the prophet is what? To introduce the idea of God and our relationship with it and how we can communicate with them. How we can do this. It means how we can communicate through these qualities, the qualities of their creator. So what we can do now, not necessarily that I can understand the language. No, I can understand the language they speak through their existence. That is what I have to benefit from. So I have to look at the ants and maybe study as well and understand how wonderfully they are created. What can be responsible for these wonderful qualities in a piece of small insect? If you look at them, they are nothing but body. But the qualities are enormous. They know how to defend, they know how to feed, they know how to make their shelters, houses. homes. They know how to communicate with each other. They know how to take care of their babies. Before the baby come, they know how to prepare the cradles for their babies, how to feed them. It is incredible. These are the languages speaking to us, and we have to understand. But I think the case is clear. If it is not clear, please ask me now, so that we can, I don't know which part is not clear for you, because I don't claim that I explained everything perfectly. It is impossible. It is impossible. We are studying the speech of God. Now, if you have any question, any concern, either unmute yourself and speak, or write something on the chat if you are shy of speaking, but somebody raised her hand. Go ahead, Ferian.
So I'm trying to understand this. How is this verse speaking to me? So we're talking about Solomon knowing the language of ants. So in other words, whatever that I observe in creation speaks to bring me some news about who the designer of this species being is. So like you were giving the example of the ants are no different than what we notice in the human kingdom or animal kingdom about taking care of youngs, piling up for harvest season, and just making sure not to, if there's some kind of, if you fear something, then we run away from it. So the same behavior. So just noticing any sort of behavior from anything, a bird, a plant, or anything, but then wondering about how are we interestingly designed in this way, and so who must be the designer? Then I'm pretty much in tune or in resonance with what am I supposed to do as a human being, just as depicted by Prophet Solomon. So just double checking on this.
Excellent, thank you. It is a good comment and further explanation, of course, of the subject. So that is what we are expected to benefit from their existence in order to know the qualities of their creator, who manifested his qualities in his work, like an ant here specifically mentioned, but there will be mention of the birds and jinn and Satan, etc. later on. Doesn't matter, but this is just an example we read in this verse 18. Thank you. But the ant said, that is also another interesting aspect of it, and I'm really still reflecting on what it means, but simply what came to my mind first, وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They will step on you. It means rather than benefiting from your existence, they will just ignore you, kill you, but they wouldn't do it because this is the army of Solomon. The believers will not kill and ignore the existence of ants. The believers, followers of a prophet, are expected not to ignore it. But if we ignore it, we do it while we are unaware. That's why ants are aware of it as well. That's what the ant is declaring. And also, while the ant of course, this is a way of rhetoric of the Quran. Ant is speaking here and I am hearing from it. But in reality, I don't hear anything from the ants really physically hearing it, but I hear what their reality represents for me. The way they are created represents to me which kind of message they are conveying to me. That is why I have to pay attention to it. But at the same time, if I ignore the ants, which is the case in my life, lots of creatures, wonderful creatures, I see, I realize that they exist there and they do some very extraordinary, wonderful work in their life that so they demonstrate lots of qualities, but I ignore them. For the believers, they are supposed not to ignore them, but if we do it while we are unaware. That is what I understood from it. Not deliberately we kill them. We just say that this is something dirty and I have to get rid of it, etc. Not deliberately, but unknowingly, while I am unaware of it. This is also, the ant is not in the way that the ant speaks, or, God makes the ant speak for me to tell something to me, something. So it is called a kind of rhetoric type fable, I think, making the animals speak so that the message will be conveyed to me. So the ant is saying, it means this is the way of, you can do it unconsciously, you may do it unconsciously, and the ants will not complain about you, don't worry. But at the same time, you are expected not to do it consciously, not to ignore it consciously. Those people who are not believers, who don't believe in the purpose, in the creation of the things of this world, they ignore their message, or the message is delivered to us through their existence. They do it consciously. They are aware. They say, this is nothing but natural happenings. There is no message for me. There is no meaning in their existence to me. But the believers do it unconsciously, or expected to do it unconsciously. That is what I understood from the verse 18. Any further comment from any of you? Okay, think about it. If you have, if something comes to you, okay, excuse me, what? Yeah, I'll go to 19, verse 19. Solomon smiled, amused at what she said, and said, my Lord, look at it now. The subject is directly and explicitly presented to us, that this matter is nothing to do, I mean, in inverted commas, magical side of the prophet, or in Islamic literature, miracles of the prophet, but comes to realization of the truthfulness of the message. Now, when he understood the message from the existence of the ant, so Solomon said, my Lord, Rabbi, enable me to be grateful for the blessings you have given me and my parents. All the prophetic lineage with his parents, it may be for me, my parent, that I have received some sort of truth through them in my family life. But the Solomon means my parents, the prophetic lineage coming from Abraham onwards. now Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, etc., and then Dawood, Suleiman. So enable me to be grateful for the blessings you have given me and my parents. Now, why? I understood with the help of the message you gave to us, me and other prophets, I understood the meaning in the existence of these strange creatures like ants, the meaning. That is one. And enable me to be grateful for the blessings you have given me. It means I myself cannot have this conclusion in my life. I cannot really by myself, if you didn't give me the message, you didn't give me the guidance, I would say these creatures, these beings, I wouldn't even say creatures, these beings are strange. Why? I don't know. They have strange qualities. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. I'm going to die. If there was no message, guidance from the Creator, I would never ever think that definitely the resurrection will take place and the life will continue and the Creator of the universe is in ghaib and he has all the qualities that I see their manifestations in its work of art, the universe, including the animals, plants, etc. That is through your guidance that I am now able to communicate with the animals, everything. It means benefit from them. Then I am asking you to give me this ability to be grateful for your benefits, your blessings that you gave me. And my parents, it means through other prophets as well. It is, for me, so far so good. It is, yeah, it makes sense because as a prophet, he must admit that he wouldn't be able to understand, as we also should admit, we wouldn't be able to understand the meaning of existence without the guidance of its creator, telling us what do they mean, how I can assure that this meaning is correct, etc., through his messengers, so that the messengers are also confirmed by miracles, so that I will be comfortable in my position. Now, again, continues, he says, أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه. It is very interesting. The prophet says, please help me understand the value of your blessings and that I may do righteous deeds accepted by you. What does it mean? So I may guess what is right, what is wrong, but you helped me, you guided me. What activities, what deeds must be performed within my capacity as appropriate to the purpose of existence of this universe. It means the purpose of creating this universe. So I will be in harmonies with the creation. That is, I believe, really an interesting message for you and for me. I hope I didn't make any mistake. So for us, because we have to have the same understanding. So we have to be very thankful for the message that God sent through the prophets and appreciate it, benefit from it. We know that. everybody knows, and we also know that without the message we receive from God, we can guess which works are good or not according to our human feelings, but not exactly fitting to the purpose of their existence. For example, there are humanist people. We know that. I'm not saying they are bad people. So what they say, I consult my own spirit, my own soul, my own feelings, and I know what is right and what is wrong, and I do it. We have to think about them and talk to them. For example, they know that stealing is wrong, telling lies are wrong, or that correct? Maybe harming somebody else is wrong. Not being rude to other people is wrong, because I experience it. If somebody is wrong to me, I feel offended and terrible. I mean, it's the kind of psychological effect on me. If someone offends me, I cannot digest it. That is how I am created. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. But be careful, one point. I mean, be careful is not a command, you know. I'm talking with you as a friend. So let's be careful. Do they know that by doing all these, they are becoming aware of the Creator and purpose of the Creator in creating this world? Do they refer to the Creator? No. They take it as a relationship between them, their feelings, and what they experience in this world by themselves. How can they relate all this to the Creator so that they will know who their Creator is? Their Creator is. So that they will communicate with the Creator in a relationship that He is the owner, I am the one who is owned. It means by Him. He is the one who gave me, enabled me with these feelings, how to appreciate the world. So I have to, when I acknowledge the owner of my feelings, what I will expect from the Creator of my feelings, yeah, I can speculate which is right, which is wrong, but I don't know exactly what is the purpose of, for example, being able to see, being able to hear. Now, I can hear, yes, I know in my feelings, I have the sense of power of sight, power of hearing. Yeah, but what are they giving to me? Just you have to see it. Okay, I saw it. You have to hear it. Yes, I heard it. I have reasoning. Okay, you have to think about it. And I thought about it. I used it. All right. What happened at the end? I die and finish. I cannot go and reach the source of these qualities and communicate with Him and be grateful to Him. I am grateful myself as a humanist. I will be grateful to myself saying that I am a good man, really. Why? Because I follow my feelings without distorting them, misusing them. I am honest within myself. Fine. That is very good. I really congratulate you on this attitude. But that is not enough. There must be a purpose in their creation, in their existence. There must be a purpose in their existence in this way. And you have to question how your feelings function in a way that you can make distinction between right and wrong. Where did you get it? How did you get it? There must be a purpose in their existence. So far, let's go and admit me by your mercy. There's a chat here. As usual, Agabe loves writing, but not speaking. It is very righteous prayer because as a believer, I am very unaware, unconsciously, of Lord's blessings and his artwork. Although it is unconscious, the unawareness, it is the valuation of his artwork, and so the valuation of him in any ways, he says, yeah, we have to keep this prayer in our mind take as a guide for me as well. Now, the Solomon continues his prayer. وأن أعمل صالحا ترضى وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. And please admit me by your mercy, not by myself. I'm going to find the truth, and I am going to be a righteous worshiper, abd, one of the abds. I am going to be one of your righteous worshipers. Can I be by myself? I can do only 1% of it through the feelings, when I am honest to my feelings, of course. But I shouldn't be proud of it because these feelings are not mine. But unfortunately, humanist people are very proud of their being a good person, very proud of it, because I'm a good man. No, look at it. But the prophetic example is very interesting. Please, you, God, enabled me. I'm very thankful to you. And also, only I can do so much as a created being, limited being. So please admit me through your mercy. Not because I deserve it, but through your mercy, because I can do so much, not really much, just as much as I can. And most of the time, my life goes with negligence. That is how I am, really. My reality is this. Most of the time, I'm negligent of my responsibilities in this world. Anyway, that is my weakness, and you may not be the same, but as a created being, we can only perform our responsibility within the limitations of our createdness. So we have to ask God that, look, I cannot do more than what I am doing now. Please forgive me and treat me with your mercy and put me among your righteous worshipers. It means the purpose is worship. For example, is the purpose of my existence not to tell lie? If I am not utilizing this feeling as a means of acknowledging my Creator and being thankful to him because he enabled me to have this feeling, acknowledging him. If I don't acknowledge the owner of this grace, I am attributing, or I will be attributing all these good qualities to myself. For example, that simple example, very simple example. Now, I am accepted into a house as a guest, okay? And I am invited to the kitchen, right? And I am presented a perfect dinner. I enjoyed it. I said, oh, I am very, very happy with this food, and I appreciate the quality of the food. I am not denying it. I admit that I am happy with this delicious food. So I don't deny it. That is what my feelings tell me. because my feelings now inform me that that is how you are satisfied through this meal. All right. I am honest. Yes, you are. Yeah. But what is neglected here? Acknowledging the host. Neglected here. You know, who provided all this food to you? The host. So as much as you are happy with the food, enjoy the food, that much you have to be thankful, grateful to the host. If you don't, it means you are just self-centric person. That is what humanism is all about, self-centrism. Of course, it is better than being a total materialist, not accepting any purpose and just really using the universe as they like it, without taking anything into consideration seriously, and just saying that we happen to be accidentally here and we have no purpose at all. That's better than these total atheists. But humanists at least don't corrupt their nature, appreciate the food, but there is a still missing dimension in their attitude. What is that? The most important thing is you are a guest here. The host invited you and he is being very gracious to you. And he is just expressing his love to you by presenting you the best food you love. He just lets you know that he knows you. He is being kind to you. For what? For what? In order to have a good relationship with him. It means now I expressed my love to you, my concern to you. Now it is your turn to express your love to me, your concern to me. That is called worship. Now, anybody who follows a religion is within this category. Who doesn't follow the guidance of God, revelation from God, cannot fulfill their mission almost at all, with a small exception. That's what I say. Humanists are better, 1% better than total atheists. All right, but just 1%. Yeah, God appreciates it. I know the Creator said, at least you were grateful what I gave you, although you didn't acknowledge me. You acknowledged your own perfection. So that is what we have to understand, the difference between just following one's own self and following the guidance of their Creator. That is why human beings, if you like, 99% of their life needs the guidance of their Creator in order to have this relationship. Somebody demonstrates his love to you, you ignore it. And you say, I am loved, yeah, I am a good person within myself. I didn't do it, yeah, but I'm a good person. How about responding back? The host is expressing his concern, his love to you. You are not turning to him and saying, thank you for providing this food for me. Isn't this an ungrateful person? Yeah, as far as the relationship and acknowledgement of the provider of the food is concerned, he is a really ungrateful person. But at least within himself, somehow consistent. That is why I feel that in order to be a righteous person, really, we need for the 99% of our life the guidance of our Creator. That is my conclusion here. It's a very beautiful prayer presented to us through the example of the Prophet Sulaiman. That is, I think it is worth memorizing it and reminding ourselves with this. Let's read it together. Rabbi awzi'ni an ashkura ni'mataka allati an'amta alayya wa ala walidayya wa an a'mala salihan tardah wa adkhilni bi rahmatika fi ibadika as-salihin. Really memorize it, then also know the meaning, and from time to time remind yourself, especially when you are happy with anything that God blesses with you. Now, let's move. We have some time. Let's move one more at least. Okay. Right. Was it 19 before? Yeah, this is the 20. It is a very famous hut now. So one day, he, the Prophet Sulaiman, inspected the birds and said, why do I not see the hoopy, hudhud in Arabic? Or is the absent without permission? Oh, what does it mean? This is interesting. The army of the Prophet Solomon consists of many different creatures. It is, of course, we understand that it is symbolic, teaching us something, definitely, I mean. But at the same time, as a prophet, he must be given a miracle, communicating with animals and asking them to serve him, the animals, jinn and Satan, also under his command. As a miracle, he flew, etc. We will see. We understand this. We saw it actually. We studied this part. Everything is subjugated to his command. We understand that as a prophet, everything is employed to witness the truthfulness of his message. All right. Now, particular example is about hoopy. Why hoopy? Because we will see that hoopy represents an animal which we will see that knows and understands what is under the earth. It means symbolically it is told that hoopy represents the reality. In fact, nowadays people also have a simple tool to do this. If there is a river under the land, water, running water, you know, the people who work for the water system of a city or town, they have a stick in their hand and they go through and they say, the pipe is here. And they point out, although physically they don't see it, it is under the earth. So it's a very famous. Sometimes they listen to it, you know, with a simple tool, actually. They listen to it like the doctors listen to your heart and lung. So they do it, and the pipe is here. They acknowledge it is possible. It is within the order of the universe. But hut represents here something else, as if this used as an analogy, because hut or hoopy, in English they call it, hoopy understood that where he went, the people do not worship God. They don't believe in God. They worship the sun. It means symbolic. We will see them. It means the causes, because when you see the sun daytime, you understand that, oh, as if you may understand that, oh, everything is under the control of the sun. So the universe is, or the earth at least, is under the control of the sun. That is what, if someone doesn't have the message from God, what they can do at the most. Liken something, well, they maybe the sun, maybe. So they worship sun. He said, well, I found that people who worship sun, instead of, actually, we can just go there, how, read the verse 25. Should they not worship God who brings forth what is hidden in the heavens and earth? Now, Hutut is the word represents to understand, to see that God is the one who brings what is underneath the earth, unknown to human beings, and makes it available for human beings to know, brings it up. It means God is the one who really, only the one who tells me what is hidden in the existence of every single being. So he is the creator. I expect only from him to discover the realities for me and let me know. That is why Hutut is important. Now, Solomon says, where is Hutut? You know, why the hidden side of the creation is not disclosed through the example of the way the Hutut is created. So you know that animals, we all know that every animal has a speciality. For example, we cannot smell as good as a dog. Even the inspectors or police, this investigators, etc., cannot understand what is going on in a place when they have dogs, and the dogs smell whatever they are looking for. They are trained for it, but human beings don't, but that dog does. And for example, I can see at dark, but bats do see at dark. And for example, a cat catches the mice, I can't. So I use sticks or other traps, etc., the mice traps, etc. But cat, they said, smells the mice and catches it. So I can't, but it does. Every animal has different qualities, but one only. Hutut has this quality, but it is a very important quality to get to the knowledge of what is hidden under the earth. It means what is hidden in secret. It represents that it is creator is the one who gave this ability to it. So it represents it. I would look at the Hutut, I would say, how does he know? How does it know? What is hidden under the earth? Of course, as a prophet, uses the example of Hutut. Look, what we don't know, the creator of Hutut knows it, because he created the Hutut with the ability to know what is hidden. It means he is the one who knows what is hidden behind the earth, or this, we call it causal chain of this universe. It means behind the order of this universe, or underneath the order of this universe. What is hidden? we all know that all the qualities of their creator are manifested there, and only the guidance of God we can discover these qualities and get to know the creator and accordingly communicate with him, respond back to him. That is why he is, when the verse I understood specifically mentioned the Hopi, and Hopi will bring the news, and then Hopi will be saved. But first, he is absent without the permission of the prophet. It means if we ignore the qualities of the other creatures, especially animals, and question the source of the source of the qualities of their abilities, then this attitude must be punished. No, I will surely punish him. Verse 21, I will surely punish him severely or kill him unless he brings me a convincing excuse. We have to be very careful about this kind of verses that the messenger is getting angry with an animal, innocent animal, and he's threatening that I'm going to kill him. Of course, we understand that these are the messages that we receive from this conversation, that if I don't acknowledge, I think this conclusion is very important. If I don't acknowledge the qualities in the existence of the creatures, animals, plants, whatever, even the stars, everything, if I don't acknowledge it, as far as my responsibility is concerned, their existence means nothing to me. Purposeless. Knowing that Hopis are like this, the cats are like this, okay, what is hidden behind their existence, underneath their qualities? The Creator's qualities are demonstrated there so that the Creator will introduce himself to me, to us. If I don't use it for this purpose, for example, I checked the online Google pictures. I found hundreds of different pictures of Hutut. It's beautiful, attractive. I don't understand. Apart from the beauty that the Creator is introducing himself, that he loves beauty and he wants to entertain me with the way that he creates everything with beautifully. Everything beautifully. So it is a manifestation of my Creator's love for me, concern for me. So I have to respond back by loving him, respecting him, acknowledging him, which is worshiping him. Look at this beauty. Everybody takes the picture, puts it on the internet, etc. For what? We have to be careful. We don't know people's attention, but at least we have to be careful about ourselves, that I have to see the beauty of this animal. I love the beauty of this animal, how this designed, perfect balance and incredible qualities there. How a meat made up of atoms have this type of creation. Yes, it is amazing. Yes, we are right to love them, to take them pictures, put on the internet and share it, share our feelings about we love the beauty of this bird. That is right. But for what purpose? What am I going to do with this beauty? Yes, I loved it, it's okay. And I died with the love of the beauty of Hutut. And then that's it. That's the end of the story. But my love, where is my love went? The meaning, it becomes at the end meaningless. That is what I really, really loved the specific example, the mission of Hopi, representing the discovering what is hidden behind the chain of or order of the universe, which is we will see that the prophetic message discloses that these are nothing but the qualities of God, Esma'ul Husna. And we are able to discover, we are able to acknowledge these Esma'ul Husna, beautiful names. That is what the symbolic teaching of Adam's creation. Then in his teaching, God enabled him or gave him the quality to know God's names, of course, but we have to use it. Everybody has it, but we have to utilize it. Inshallah, we will continue what Hudhud replied to Suleiman. So I think we will continue from the verse 22 onwards next week, inshallah. And I would like to see you next week, next Monday, Saturday, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum. Any questions, any concern?
I had a question. I'm not clear really with the verse 20 and 21. So what I understand, like I'm observing the universe. So for example, yesterday the sun was not out. I'm like, yo, where's the sun today? And so like I'm trying to relate the case. So what's wrong with this attitude? So like I'm not seeing the sun. Where's sunlight? Is the sun? So it's for me to question like, ooh, so like is the sun acting on its own, or was it actually, or was there a conscious will behind every time that I communicate with the sun? So can I take verse 20 as such? I mean, just checking in on this piece. And so if yes, then how would verse 21 apply here? I will surely punish him severely or kill him unless he brings me a convincing excuse. So maybe again, me going on in this wandering journey about what can the sun points to, or what is the source of existence of the sun? Has the sun been acting on its own all this time? Or like what's behind this manifestation of the sun? I'm just checking in.
Now, your example about the sun, I have to come to the same conclusion as you said, that is something else. That is correct. I agree with you. But here, it's a slightly different stories going on here. If, first of all, an animal should not be absent without my permission. What does it mean? Animal doesn't listen to me. It means, as far as my responsibility is concerned, I have to have them present for my service. What does it mean? Not to serve me, yes, as in physical terms, but serve me as a means of communicating through their existence with so through their existence, I will communicate with their creator. If they don't function in this way, as far as I am concerned, I understood, as far as I am concerned, they shouldn't be absent from my, if you like, scope of responsibility. I have to bear on me always in my mind, and the Hudhud must be always present in my understanding, in my capacity of comprehending the creation. So if for a reason it is or the Hudhud is absent, I understand. But without any reason, I just ignore the existence of the Hudhud and the functioning of the Hudhud as an animal representing that. Representing what? What is hidden under the heavens and the earth. It means, we have been mentioning this, what is hidden underneath the order of this universe. If I don't benefit from it, it is, as far as I am concerned, it is just a dead being for me. It is just a dead being for me. It means as if non-existent for me. I am the one who is really missing, not the animal. Animal, we will found out that animal was doing his duty, its duty, perfectly performing it and bringing the message and informing Suleiman what he doesn't know, what he cannot know. By himself, Suleiman cannot know. For example, I cannot know as much as in this particular subject, I cannot know as much as a hoopy does. It means every animal represents one manifestations of the names of his qualities, God's qualities, at the highest level that that is available for human beings to observe. We have to appreciate it. Every quality of animal, even ant, hudhud, the dogs and cats, or whatever the other birds, we have to look at them. We will understand them. They are given certain abilities much better than mine. I have to understand that, oh, God can create even better beings as I see it. So his acts of creation has no limitations. That is what I understood from this verse as far as the story of Hudhud is concerned. But yours is correct as far as the relationship with the sun. And when the sun disappears, etc., I understand that it cannot really act on its own, etc. That's perfectly correct. Thank you. I think we are out of time, 15 minutes. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim, wa akhiru da'wahum an alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. See you on Wednesday and next week. So Saturday and next week, inshallah. But we have to be at 5 o'clock again, although the clocks change.